to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi.
And away we go.
Yeah.
I think we should start every podcast that way.
Yeah.
From now on. What is that?
Like some warming up. What were you doing? Do it again.
In the way we go.
It was longer. It was like, you made
was
a
it
sound.
that's my kind of Jerry Lewis sort of meets.
That's your Jerry Lewis?
It's Jerry
wow.
Lewis. Jerry Lewis. Who was Jewish. Jerry Lewis. It's Jerry Lewis-esque. Kind of.
Do you what?
Sort of a funny.
What's the
funny voice?
What's the comedy style? I'm told I'm from. The what belt?
The Rust Belt.
No. No.
I don't know.
Good old. It's the Castaic Lake.
Oh yeah. You're like the Adirondack kind of shecky green and.
No, it's got a weird. It's got its own name, and I can't think
Lake,
of it.
California.
No, see that's what I'm saying. It's in New York Lake. A sourdough belt. It's something having to do with. Anyway,
you're talking about like a Henny Youngman meets
Sid Caesar.
All
the clear listener. You
greats.
Probably know the greats that I'm inspired by.
Everybody's familiar with the Catskills.
It's the Catskill.
The resort.
It'll come. I will yell it.
You yell it in the middle of this podcast.
I will.
And by then we'll have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I told the boy we were rated R show tonight.
Oh, they can't listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, just tonight.
Yeah, we were laying around and he asked if we cussed. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "How profane?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna
Wow.
I mean, what do you mean? How profane?
Maybe it's time we cleaned our act up a bit. We talked about this before.
We've tried.
Well, not really. We didn't even try in the episode.
Let me rephrase that.
In the episode where we said we should
I have
try.
attempted trying.
Okay.
It never works.
Yeah, it never works. We like the freedom that comes with that extenuated seltzer.
Oh.
We are, believe it or not, we're a multi-million-dollar show. We're now sponsored by Disney.
Yeah. And that's, we're waiting for Mark Maron's comments about the content.
Yeah, please, Mr. Maron, if you could drop us an email at
But how long is he going to be with Disney? Because he's kind of risky.
He is risky.
I can't believe they picked this up.
He's more risque than,
is that how you say that?
Risky.
That's
Look,
QUE, right?
Disney was making money on racism and child
long before James Gunn.
Long before James Gunn
said what James Gunn said?
Dropped a few bad R jokes.
I was about to say, can we can't be funny by stating his funnies.
No, because here's the
That's
problem.
Not cool?
Here's the problem. The moment you come to anybody's, the nature of outrage culture is the moment you come to anybody's
hashtag outrage culture?
No, because anyone who's part of outrage culture doesn't want to admit they're part of outrage culture. So, because they feel justified.
Hashtag not me too.
Hashtag not me too. But you can't come to someone's defense, or you can't really attack them because then you'll get attacked by association on either side. So basically, we just end up in this situation where everything is some level of terrible. It's almost like human beings are incredibly flawed and do some shitty things sometimes.
Yeah. Was this is the James Gunn resentment?
This is
rationalization.
This is the huge James Gunn.
Yeah.
What
are you an
apologizer?
A James Gunn apologizer?
I guess technically I
apologize.
Am.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. This has nothing to do with anything other than I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I have zero ideals when it comes to this stuff.
They did the background checks. Clear. They've listened to episodes 0 through 62.
They're cool with it. I mean, the checks with Mickey Mouse's face on it keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
I
keep
can't,
cashing
but
him.
he signed so well for having those fingers.
He's old too.
But I remember going to the parks and he knew how to autograph the whole time.
Yeah,
He's good at it.
He looks good in the tux.
Yeah,
You know,
great guy.
great guy. Mouse.
Tomorrowland.
Todayland even.
What were James Gunn's? You said R words. I don't recall again.
I don't think it really
You
matters.
can't even.
I would
just-
rather not repeat them because I
No, just
I actually,
give me the zone. There was a.
He made some
Just-
jokes about rape, and he made some jokes about pedophilia. You know, and you know he
Those
came
aren't
out-
Olympic sports, are they?
The pedophilia is now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's been in that way from China for a while. That's
Just
how
in
you
the
get better
last
at
couple
gymnastics.
years. We just with one fell swoop
Ow!
lost all
Got
of the.
fired from Disney.
We lost all the Chinese.
Did you see that letter
and
come under the door of the
gymnasts.
studio?
Yeah, I heard it.
Jesus.
Slid under, had yellow paint on it, and then I heard a ha as he ran away.
Son, that's how profane. That's how profane. When you're 13 listening to these, that's how
Yeah.
profane.
You happy now? You happy now, VW? This is your father. All right, this is the person he is. Hopefully, in a couple
we were
years,
trying to be funny, that we were comics.
I do love that when I told you about the whole James Gunn thing, your immediate response was, "I'm pretty sure Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi would get us fired from Disney."
Yes.
Which is true. You know, we do we operate mostly on a reaction to the things that we are reviewing on this show, but every once in a while we slip in some colorful opinions here or there, and those colorful opinions might not jive with the current nature of gotta be safe, gotta be very, very politically correct corporate America.
And that's why we thank you, listener, for tolerating.
Yeah,
Tolerance.
I mean,
Love and tolerance of others was our code.
Man. That's what we roll
That's
with
what
here.
we're all about. Chinese gymnasts. Touchy subject? Is that a touchy subject?
It's a touchy subject, which is also a new Olympic sport. Touchy subject.
It's like an essay writing.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's an Olympian. Touchy subject.
subject?
Touchy subject. He's a guy.
Where's he from?
He's a weightlifter.
He is.
It's spelled
He is.
Tuche. Touchy subject.
Touchy subject.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I have a feeling we should have watched a movie or something. Did we?
Well, we did.
Oh, we did. Oh,
We did.
right. Right. I got
format a little different this time around.
I forgot about this one because there's so much space between the two of us right now, and there was not a lot lot of space in this movie. In several.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that.
Hey. Yeah. Keep it coming though.
All
You're
right.
almost there.
What else we
yeah.
got?
But no. You're like 1/4 into a segue there.
I was almost there,
That
and
was-
I lost it.
Yeah. It's gone.
Because you told me not to go downstairs and get more ice cream, and that
You think
other bowl of
the
ice cream
second bowl.
would have carried me across the
You
finish
don't think
line.
you would have overshot the mark?
I mean,
that
I'm
kind of what you always do?
I'm great at overshooting
Yeah.
the mark. You know, let's see what I can come up with now.
Dude,
I don't know,
one
Kevin.
more, and I can still drive.
Have you ever owned anything?
What? I want to know what 9/10 of the law is.
Oh no! Oh, who's doing this? You or me?
I think we're working together.
I think it's
the
7/10.
producers asked for us to. It's not. It's 9/10.
9/10 of the law. Is that possession?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's the name of the thing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Adam, we watched Possession.
Adam, we watched Possession.
1981.
Wherever you are. Thank you.
Yes.
So,
Probably. Well, I've got new theories now. 1981, Possession. Who wrote this and shot this movie?
this movie was written and shot by Andrzej Zulawski.
That is great pronunciation. It doesn't sound like you're reading it.
I'm pretty sure that I
They can
read
hear
that
the
wrong.
mouse clicking.
He's a Polish. Can they hear the mouse
They
clicking?
can hear the mouse clicking.
He's a Polish film director and writer. He was born in Poland, now
Don't
Ukraine.
Stop that.
Okay, all right, you're right.
That's
Jeez
why
Louise.
that was Wiki, not Google.
Not
but
Google.
Still,
Not Google.
you see how shitty it gets
Yeah,
so quick?
So quick, man. I can't believe other podcasts
What
get
the
away with that
hell?
crap.
What would you do? Just,
I couldn't remember his name. Why would you set me up like that and ask me an unpronounceable Polish name without me going to the wiki? What am I supposed to say? Sebastian Molokai was the writer. Because that's what I had in the tank.
Sebastian Molokai.
That's my go-to for any...
Molokai. What is that from?
Molokai is...
Children of the Corn?
No, it's not biblical, but it's mythological.
Molokai. It's Children of... Do you
Children of the
not
Corn?
remember a name? The Molokai, the leader of the
I'm questioning if I ever saw Children of the Corn, to tell you the truth.
That would be a strange blank spot for you.
It would be.
You've seen everything.
I feel like... No, I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen Children of the Corn 2. So there.
Yeah. Yeah, an ear for an ear. That's the subtitle of that one.
Woo! Maze Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
That's 3.
That's 3. Children of the Corn 3. These babies write themselves.
Yeah.
Where is our $1 million, Disney? Come on. Children of the Corn 3.
We
Maze
take
Runner.
back everything we said.
So... Who the hell are we?
Well, we are Berlin Daddy Dies Seeking Female.
That's BDDSF. That makes sense.
That's who we be.
That's who we be. That's who we are today. Berlin Daddy Dies Seeking Female.
Mm-hmm. Says it all, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Podcast done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's wrap it
It's
up.
in the seeking, though, that we find, George, so we should explore this.
All right, deal.
Let's not wrap it up.
Let's not wrap it up. Let's go back a little bit and let's actually let's throw this baby on the grill. See if we can sear it.
Sear it.
Yeah, why not? I like things seared.
Yeah. Speaking of meat.
Ooh. Meat.
Something about a cold,
meaty
Western Berlin city right on the wall that brings cutting meat and grinding meat. You still had to make your own ground beef back then.
Yeah.
In 1981.
Yeah, we are treated to a semi-erotic scene of the making of ground beef.
George,
which
that it was not erotic.
It was kind of
guys.
Are we watching the same movie?
You get to see different shades of people.
You do. You do.
Yeah. Okay, George thinks that's
I'm
erotic.
with you, James Gunn. Anyway, which then precedes a scene in which a woman takes an electric knife and presses it right against her throat. This is a snippet of the type of movie that Possession is that we're going to be talking about here.
Possession B.
Possession B. Thank you. Possession was recommended to us by Adam. Die-hard fans will know that Adam was once a member of what used to be the trifecta of Busy Daddies Do Sci-Fi, which is the predecessor to Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi, which is what we now call ourselves. And Adam told us once to watch a movie called Possession.
And he was like, it's some spy dude whose wife's getting fucked by an alien.
That was his setup. That was his setup. So we go into it knowing that. So some spy dude. Okay. So some spy dude is Sam Neill, playing a character named Mark. His wife is Anna, and I was not expecting the movie that we got. I want to almost shudder in reaction to it, like not in a bad way, in a misunderstood, semi-confused, intrigued, and like kind of captivated way. Those are some of the things this movie did to me.
I liked watching this movie. I was up later than I wanted to be. That was A-okay. And we crapped out on trying to watch
Ready Player
One, which is still for $15 to rent at your house. No, you have to buy it. You can't even rent it yet at the house. So we scratched that. Possession comes to mind. And it's on YouTube. That's cool. A guy like me is like, wow, whole movies are on YouTube?
Yeah, it's worth noting that at no point when Kevin said that Ready Player One was $19.99 did I insist that he buy Ready Player One.
You did insist that you had bought it.
I had bought it.
So you thought you rented it?
$5.99.
Really?
Yes.
You think it was some sale?
I don't know if it was like a...
Have you checked your receipts?
Day of... No. I checked my video library.
So you didn't own it. You were able to rent it.
Yeah.
And you actually saw the movie.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well.
And again.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Hey, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, product placement.
Are
I don't
you
know.
owned by Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Actually, no. I think Amazon is probably the one owning Disney. So we ended up last minute kind of going, hey, remember this movie that Adam recommended?
Do you watch many movies on YouTube, George?
No.
I never have.
No. Usually what I'm doing...
It's illegal to post a movie up on...
Pretty sure what we did was technically illegal.
Right. So there's ways to skirt it being illegal.
What you'll see sometimes is people have maybe reversed the image, and you'll be watching it flipped. What you'll see sometimes is...
that would be insane.
Yeah. So what you'll see sometimes is somebody has shrunk it down a little bit. Maybe added some floral arrangements around it to disguise the video from the YouTube censor.
Is that because there's an algorithm hunting it?
I believe so. Yeah. I don't know the technical details, but I'm pretty sure the moment you post something, YouTube... Well, hell, I'll throw this out there, man, okay? Last week...
Remember, one of our listeners is a mandated reporter. Do you know what that is?
Hey, Sarah. Of course I do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Of course I do. We keep them out of our lives. Don't say nothing.
So, last week I posted a video of Charlie dancing to the Beatles singing Twist and Shout.
Oh, yeah,
Okay?
man. I'm surprised you're still alive.
I know.
You could have been shot dead on your porch.
They took a few swings at me, okay? So, no, immediately, as soon as I post it, I get... Now, this is to Facebook and to Instagram... I get flagged by both of them. Facebook says, we're posting the video, but we're muting the audio. Instagram just says, we deleted the video. Gone. So immediately, there's something that goes through and it's just like, fuck you. Nope. Owned by BMI. You know?
The future's going to be so rad.
And it's just a video of like my son dancing to a song I was playing, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing that they have that capability now.
Possession, listener, when you go and watch it on YouTube, you can buy it for like $40, the real DVD on Amazon. But two options.
Worth it.
I watched both. I settled on the shrunken left margin rectangle with a circling pattern of stars behind it, almost as if it was orbiting an invisible sun. I really thought I was going to vomit or have a headache. Nothing like that happened. I'm wondering if someone thinks about backgrounds that might not give headaches. I also wonder how I was hypnotized and what I will buy in the next 5 years of my life.
Interesting choice there, Kevin. I opted for the cut off 3 inches on every side. And superimposed dots.
Ben-Day dots, I think.
Screen,
yeah.
All over the screen. And now that we're talking about this, I'm wondering if this movie was actually a huge piece of shit, and we were just sort of hypnotized by the abstract into like maybe those dots.
That's a lot of work for
were
an algorithm.
Flashing and getting us to buy Tide Pods.
I tried your version. I also thought it was a little fast, and the volume was extremely low on both of them. I don't know if that is another part of beating the algorithm.
Don't know, yeah.
But Possession made it through.
Yeah, Possession, we did it. For a little while, I was about 20 minutes into it, and I debated texting Kevin and saying, I'm not doing this. It had.
I texted you to check if you were doing
it.
it.
See, that's good.
I was like,
because
okay, he's doing it.
I don't know if it had more to do with the actual quality of the video, or if it was just that I was not immediately sold on this picture. I mean, like to set up the world. Well, Kevin, you want to set up the world a little bit? It doesn't take much.
Alex the spy gets back from
Mark
the spy gets back from a mission, and his wife wants to leave him, and she's stressed out and weird. They have a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or something, and we know the movie's called Possession, so I'm already looking for clues. And she could be completely tense at the same time. What's going to happen? So she leaves him, in essence, tells him he's been cuckolded, and then
it's also worth noting,
leaves him to freak out for a while, like anyone would in a regular old "you're doing what and now you're leaving" situation.
Yeah, I mean, seemingly operating like entirely irrationally, and you know, I start questioning like, what has this woman been through? Because heightened emotion, he is already operating under a level of well, you know, possession. Basically, he is possessed of her, his love for her, and seemingly more of his like want for just like the normality to return. We're never really told what he did as far as this spy thing goes.
No.
And it doesn't even matter. Like
But he wants out. He
wants
says, "I'm
out.
done."
He's
They
done.
say the client still wants to see you. And then at the end of the meeting with the board of spooks, one guy just says, "One last thing. Does the client still wear pink socks?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And we move on. A lover is tracked down, and I believe he is what in 1981 would have been a pretty forward-thinking, hip guy
He's
for
super hip,
Berlin,
man. He's
at that time.
He's my favorite character in the movie.
He knows karate.
He is
and
Heinrich.
not afraid to use it.
Heinrich knows karate, but he will only use it for defense.
Yeah.
He is without a doubt a lover. Almost a little too much so. On his first meeting with Sam Neill's character Mark, he is embracing, nearly kissing. Very, I want to understand you. I want you to understand me. I want you to understand what is
But
going
you,
on
Mark,
here.
are the one with the barriers.
You're the
up.
one with the problem.
And this is the guy who's doing his
Yeah,
wife.
exactly.
You're the one with the, which it was cool. Like, so that was smooth, whatever that means.
It's also kind of just indicative of what this filmmaker does. Everything is really exaggerated, and not to say that is bad. The closeness is really felt, especially for me, since the screen was much larger than I think a normal person watching this movie.
Did you have garlic last night,
Oh
Heinrich?
my God, Heinrich!
Ha!
Ugh.
Jesus.
I could see, you know, Sam Neill is known for that sort of mole on his face, and you could see it's got clearly a curly hair just coming right out of it, and everything's really in your face. They're really close with each other, and it makes the movie
It's on the edge of violent eruption,
Yes.
and then it is often erupting violently too. It made me wonder what was out there that this guy might have been feeding off. What well was he drinking from? We had The Exorcist in 71 or 73 or 76, somewhere in there. And not much else. I don't really think this guy was drinking from that well anyways, but it made me think of what had been done out there. But the woman... Anna, the wife that wants to leave, is getting weird. She's weird. She's losing time. She's showing back up.
normal
she
stuff
erupts.
is slipping by the way. She doesn't. She's not there when their son is home, and he is kind of unkempt,
left
and
alone.
left
She tears
alone.
everything off the shelves, everything out of the cupboards, and is packing weird stuff into the fridge and
putting
saying
clothes in the fridge
Yeah.
and putting food in like the bedroom, things like that.
So
Yeah,
Mark hires a private detective firm
yeah,
to go follow his wife.
yeah. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Now here's
Yeah.
just another thing. Like this is a first maybe like I mean it's not a long movie. It's like an hour and 43 minutes. First like 45 minutes of the movie, pretty much like standard machinations of like a love story gone wrong, but at no point does it feel like that's it. Like,
Not
there
not
is-
at all. I mean, of course, it's called Possession.
Of course, it's called Possession. We know going into it, we've got a little bit of the, you know, especially from Adam, it's an alien fucking the guy's wife
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
But it just feels otherworldly already, you know? Like, the motions aren't established
Yeah,
that,
well-
like, there's a lot more going on. There's just, like,
Well, because
this
he's
is
the
fucking
spy.
weird. This is a spy. This dude's kind of, like, possessed of her. He's reacting
Heinrich's
to this.
completely
He's,
possessed
you know,
of her.
right.
And so in very human ways, we have the things that possess us, which a European, a art film could explore entirely.
Completely.
And there was a point when I was going to be like, is this going to plateau at the intense whatevers? It's harsh, like just an intense breakup, like how Europe does Kramer versus Kramer, or you choose me, or whatever the hell.
Where nothing will happen and the movie will end, and then somebody with a beret and a cigarette an hour and a half later will come to you and say, "No, don't you see? We were the aliens the entire time."
Well,
like,
That's
or something.
I said that before the.
What do you mean?
That's my idea.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh.
I'm not gonna smoke though.
You're not gonna
I'm
smoke.
gonna smoke, and I didn't bring the beret.
You look good in a beret.
You know, I try.
Succeed.
Private detective finds the strange flat she's living in, and well, I don't know what to do right here now, George. Is it just it's open? We gotta let it. We're gonna. Oh, by the way, we're gonna spoil this movie.
She's got a big
Weird.
pile of meat and tentacles.
Yeah,
Hanging
on her
out
bed.
in the
who
bed.
She says is exhausted from making
For
love
making
to me
love
all
to
night.
her all night, and we're kind of treated to our first huge apparent turn. The weird thing about that is, that was not a surprise. You know, that was not like like you knew something like this was coming. Basically because the movie operated on a way where, like, the stakes kept getting raised as it went without it being, like, apparent. So through like the atmosphere he created, the interactions with the characters, things got more dramatic, and the story kind of just slowly turned itself up to the point where, like, for me, when he walks in and you see, you know, bloody green and red monster hanging out on the bed, not clear what exactly is going on there, but at no point was I like, oh, whoa, that's a twist, you know? It was just like, all right,
Now,
cool.
it doesn't mean
Like,
it was
now we're-
spoiled for us, but I think it was done well. It
was done really
I think
well.
this was called a horror movie. For me, having read the Southern Reach trilogy and just being into weird tales, that's certainly what this reminds me of. It's the thing I'm in love with.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, right, exactly. It's that you don't understand. She is now.
But this
fully
is possession. So there's some worse stuff going on here. We never get to see her initial contact with this thing.
No, and right before we started recording, I said we don't know where she, as a person, begins and ends. Like, we don't know at what point do we ever get actual Anna. Like, does the movie start off and she? I'm not Anna. Yeah, Anna.
Anna, yeah.
I'm thinking of Helen, the teacher's name. But does the movie start off and she is just a woman having an affair? You know, and then at some point during that, this goes on. Like, it's never clear, and that's okay. You know.
Well, Heinrich, the lover, and Mark find out that it's not either
Not
of them.
either of them.
And it's that dude, but before, whatever that thing is.
The cuckold had been cuckolded.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think in an American movie, we would have watched some great dinners together, and we would have seen that mom be really who she is. So we could lose it all.
Right.
We see her certainly show up as a mom, but I feel like we catch up and she's past it. Because the beginning of the movie starts with her just going, I don't know. Which could be a complete innocuous, I want to divorce you, I'm having an affair, I don't know. Or I'm already touched by it. And I think chronologically, she's already
makes more sense.
corrupt.
She's already in there.
Yeah.
Not to be.
And so
too
possessed.
specific. Yeah.
Possessed.
No.
So the detective guy, he goes disappearing, and it just ramps up from there.
Completely starts to his lover comes to look for him. There's a couple death scenes in this movie that are just sort of traumatic without being incredibly violent. You know, like they're
like old
you
school.
just
It
feel
was
them.
good
Yeah,
old
it was-
like 48 Hours. The guy getting a bullet in the head at the
Exactly,
beginning, man.
yeah.
It's like, oh, that fucking
that was
hurt,
real.
man.
Like,
yeah.
whoa, that just happened, you know. And it wasn't a head exploding. It was more of like a puff of red mist, you know.
Yeah.
That type of stuff is always kind of it's when it's utilized correctly, it's really cool and affecting. And this was this kind of started like this whole track that this movie was on, where I was kind of certain that no matter where it was going, I didn't think like, okay, well, this is going to be like a typical movie where she's going to get beaten. She's the bad guy, and she's going to get taken down, and now he's the good father and everything too. He's putting his life back together without her, and he's going to triumph. At no point did I feel like that was going to happen.
He's so possessed. He joins the team.
Joins the team fully.
Yeah. Amazingly, and starts doing really bad stuff.
So,
too.
Well, wait. Now, before that, we talked a little bit about the teacher. So their son's teacher looks exactly like his wife.
The same actress.
It's the same
which
actress.
Is weird. Brown hair, not black.
Now, is that another level of his possession? Like, maybe she doesn't actually look a damn thing.
I thought
And
that maybe
that's
we were
something
supposed to see. I thought for a moment that it would be a cool device to have him see any other woman.
Yeah.
Like that. Now there are other women he sees that breaks my theory up, but
Yeah.
it crossed my mind like, is this just what this guy?
Because he's already slipping her into their life. You know, he's folding her into the entire scenario.
Yeah,
she's
it's
mother
pivotal
to the
that she's
boy,
there
and-
to get the boy out of it for the climax. It's wild. So there's cool stuff. There's even explosions that aren't hammed up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
cool practical stuff that's just like there.
Remember, he's a spy. I don't know. He didn't seem such like a good spy. He could have, maybe again in a real American way, he would have borne identity some of this stuff, but he certainly got his butt kicked and fumbled,
Big time.
but then also took care of business, like, and leaped in. Like this day and age, it was funny. Like there were some bloody scenes. I was like, "There's no way you could hide that." But I think in 1981, you could still cut someone up in your bathroom and pull it off.
Yeah, there was. I mean,
you must. I think
all of a
you could.
sudden, like the amount of blood in this movie was like, she seemed like she was bleeding all the time. Like there's a couple really like there's a rough beating scene where she gets smacked a lot and she's bleeding from the mouth. There's a car accident scene where he is just kind of mangled, and like there's some sort of there's some level of violence going on throughout most of the
Is there a point when he's chasing her earlier in the movie and a truck with a tow truck crashes and she's done that with her mind? Was that like a fire starter flip?
We never
'Cause there was
revisited
that-
that. We never revisited.
Yeah,
like,
but I think he just threw this like, oh, and she can do things powerful.
Yeah.
It should be stated also that as alien as I would like this to be, it was, and this is what made me think of The Exorcist, bogged down. Heinrich is often bringing up God and what is God. There's a point when she stares at the cruciform in a church, and I wonder if just in 1981 you had to address your religiousness.
Well, there's a backstory of her having a pretty horrible miscarriage, in which she talks about
the miscarriage they show in the subway.
Yeah,
which was a great scene.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that had to do with the.
Oh, it did.
Beast.
No, it is. Yeah, completely. But I mean, like, because what she talks about there is what is it, Sister
Yeah,
Reason
faith and destiny, and that was a little bit I glazed over. I was like, I wish.
But I took that as sort of like her human rationalization for what is an otherworldly kind of thing. And then the same with Heinrich. You know, like these feelings, all this stuff is born out of sort of otherworldly influence, and this is the best that we can do to come up with it. You know, like that's kind of what I loved about Heinrich is he was already crazy, and this whole experience, you know, in a way kind of took him to, it's probably getting too deep into what is basically a throwaway character, but this whole experience took him to another level that he was trying to seek, because he seemed to me a really spiritual guy, like a big time seeker, and then all of a sudden he finds something that's like greater than himself, and it's just like he has blue.
Well, because there's great lines about my dog died. Mark's like, my dog died under the house, and he yelped right before, as if he had seen something real.
Yeah.
Right, and so there's this sort of peeling back the veil kind of talk going on.
Yeah.
All this should be said. You realize, you know, normally we are not getting this in depth. This movie did its work. It was great. I dreamed. This movie went into my dreams last night, and I thought about it in anticipation of speaking about it tonight on the cast. You know, it was like
highly
very cool,
unexpected,
very cool
for it to have this level.
I almost wonder if it would be cool again. I wonder if in an isolated way, put it this way, it's going to be cool with an enlarged screen, dots, or shrunken with a stellar circular swirling thing behind it. But
you might blow that $40 on the DVD just to not experience it.
And considering I own very few DVDs, and I own Stalker by Tarkovsky, and this would be one that I think I'd like to have.
It certainly had that flavor.
Cool.
It had that flavor. There were pings of everything. There were certainly pings of like The Exorcist, even Poltergeist not Poltergeist. I'm sorry, I just meant The Exorcist. But there was certainly like a feeling of Stalker. There was that like 70s horror vibe to it as well, that just like, you know, not super crisp. It's not like a Spielberg movie. It was made well,
like Dario Argento. It could have been like that
exactly
right there at any point. I guess a little tidbit, the visual effects were done by the guy who did E.T. later.
Oh, I did not know that.
That weird thing. That was the thing I found when I looked it up. Not much is said about this movie when you go look it up. I mean, it's an old movie, but...
well, I mean, I looked up a little bit about the director, and this movie is sort of pitched as like his... maybe not his best movie, but the defining example of his style.
It went cult, certainly.
It went cult, and some recent critical acclaim has sort of brought it back around again. Mm-hmm. You know, probably from Adam.
Out there toiling in the underground, just moving things in that William Gibson kind of invisible landscape thing there,
pushing it from the ether world into the subconscious of other human beings, man, and yeah, it worked, and I got to say, like, it's the culmination is a mixture, like, unsatisfying and satisfying while being really appropriate. Like, you know, you don't get all your questions answered by any means. We do get to see that man with the pink socks. We get to revisit his and again, like, lack of clarity in a way. But
so yeah, there was some things I would have wanted to know. I wanted to know the source of the alien monster thing.
I was cool not getting.
It was great.
That.
This movie did enough so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But you know, I was hoping to find out and researching the movie more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And this client with the pink socks comes back in the climax, and what's cool is then it sets the whole thing in motion. So 3 times at least, the view from the apartment that these two live in, you can see the Eastern Germans with binoculars at their station looking in at the room at the house. Now, at this time, you could have been filming that movie and filming real men in Eastern Berlin who were just looking at you filming a movie in that apartment, or they asked permission to put them in there to kind of add to the edge of what's the whole picture? Is this an X-Files sort of spy thing?
Right. Is that
is this poor sap been set up so that people who know what's going on can usher in this entity? Because it is ushered in. We see it go from slimy tentacles to form to naked lunch parrot raping thing.
Yeah.
And then in that final scene, in the climax of the movie, as Mark comes up, he sees the Beast and Anna making love, and he's already bought the package, so he's in on it. You can see him; he's doing the math. This is the cost of getting her back. There's a project. They just want this thing to form, and she's going almost. And I think he's almost finished.
Yeah.
So then we flee, and the pink sock dude shows up. There's a big shootout, and he's been shot, and then she shows up looking fresher than normal. Because when you get it good, you get it good. You know what I'm saying?
She's done up.
Yeah, and with that glow, and there he is glowing, and who is almost done is now complete, and he is a doppelganger of Mark.
Complete.
In a blonding, kind of bright David Bowie is what I thought of.
Like almost
like happy glow.
Yeah,
and innocent. Bullets go right through him.
They're
shot at, and he doesn't get shot. And there's a little slight. There's some trickery. It's just coming back to me.
Oh, there's like a mind.
So he makes someone else pick up a gun,
and shoot at the police. And he tells them to help him. Like, there's certainly like a influence, a possession again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're treated to this doppelganger of Mark. Mark and Anna are killed in a police shootout.
Mm-hmm. And she puts one final bullet through them both on top of one another.
Right, and that's I did not catch that's what she was doing.
She reaches behind her back in this weird yoga move and fires a little pistol through her
and him. And kills, like, I was like, why did she shoot herself in the back? And then I went back and actually watched that scene again. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's doing the deal.
It all.
So now we're treated to this other entity escaping and moving across the city. The movie ends with the teacher and Mark and Anna's son having dinner, completely clueless about what is going on.
Mark has handed the son off to the teacher. Mark being dead now and Anna being dead, she has the son. That's how you do it in Berlin in 1981.
Yeah, you just
give it to the teacher.
Give it to the teacher. Hey, you got this, right? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to go across town and get into a horrible car accident.
Motorcycle accident.
No, motorcycle.
I'm going to break a leg, get shot in the chest a couple of times, drag myself around.
I feel like bleeding a lot from my mouth today. It's okay. I'm Sam Neill. And knock on the door. The child intuitively knows, do not answer that. This is bad.
He goes, don't open.
He runs upstairs and submerges himself in the bath. There's a backstory about him having practiced
holding his breath in the tub with his dad.
The doppelganger is pressed up against the glass of the door.
A frosted glass window so you can see it's him.
Waiting for it to be opened. Before it is opened, we hear chaos.
It shows her face, and then behind it, him squirming, kind of longish. We remember he's tentacly.
Yeah, he's got some tentacles coming on.
And then sounds of choppers.
Sounds of helicopters, sounds of jets flying over, explosions, and gunfire. All going on, like bombs and mortars landing.
Like sounds of war.
Sounds of war, which we are on the border with, it's East and West Berlin. The Berlin Wall is right there. So, and then the movie stops. And that's it. Boom. Yeah. Credits.
I got the sense that if you didn't open the door, it wouldn't happen, except her face goes to that numbed out weird look that
that
Anna
Anna
had when she got the cosmic psycho babble job that was
Completely.
going into her.
Or even the scene with the car. It's the same face. Like she turns around and she's fully kind of possessed.
There, but
She's-
not
yeah,
there,
yeah.
kind of.
This vacantness. So we've got the teacher Anna, wide green eyes, very different from Helen's eyes.
Anna's
eyes. And then the movie stops. And in that last 5 seconds of the movie, I am doing in my head basically like a get out of my chair and kind of fist pump the air because I loved it. I loved the way that ended. So
It was cool.
So cool and satisfying, man. And I don't even need to. I mean, I have in my head like what I think all that was, but I don't even need to connect the dots with it. Like I feel like on some level we were treated to a love story as the catalyst to a alien invasion that we never see.
Yeah,
but
and
even
the alien is. I was thinking like a mental disease, like a new way to think or something, which is all the possessions, which is the guy with the beret going, "We're the aliens, man."
No, okay,
but like
exactly.
But that's I'm kind
No,
of like if we're that detached, then the emotion facet of humanity, like, is an alien disease. That's kind of what I don't know. Anyway,
I
doesn't
agree.
matter,
No,
but-
man, I think it's great. Like that's and I think the perception,
which is the sci-fi,
and the
by the way.
influence.
That's
the
the
sci-fi.
alien attack.
And there's where it goes. Like I felt like we had a lot of horror elements and definitely some like thriller elements and everything.
Some
but this
Hellraiser
movie,
stuff going on in there.
yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like this movie didn't, for me, get sci-fi until like the last, 30 seconds of it, where all of a sudden I'm like, so if we were to, first of all, if this were an American movie, it would have ended at those credits, and 2 years from now we would have gotten Possession 2, and there'd be Helen with a machine gun fighting aliens on the top of the Berlin Wall and all this shit like that. It was really just cool to punch out at that moment and go, this is up to you. The one thing I read about this filmmaker, apparently, he does not agree with the idea of creating films for an audience. He makes clear that
that was written all over him. Yeah, I could totally tell.
he was like,
I'm like, this is one of those guys who made a movie for not an audience. Yeah, it's more common in Europe. Yeah, I'm used to that. Yeah, I'm used to that.
That whole this is about me and my own personal expression.
Yeah.
Thing.
Which it could be. So there was a line about your worse than a Nazi in a concentration camp thing. The sounds of war could have nothing to do except be one of those things where the whole thing's actually supposed to be about the death camps.
Yeah.
And so once again, think about how many places we've gone through this movie. Which is basically a monster horror movie with a bunch of people dying and freaking out in it.
Sure. He's a Polish filmmaker making a movie at the height of the Cold War. That is about external forces invading like the qualities that we hold dear. Our love, our children, this could be, if you want to get into an allegory for so many different fucking things. I saw it and I kind of went, all right, this was a pretty cool sci-fi flick that you made here.
Yep.
Yeah. So we didn't get the flying saucer floating through at any point.
No.
We get no obviousness. We get no take me to your leader moments or anything like that. What we get is we get a story about a man who loves a woman.
Who loves a man?
Who loves a man? Who
also loves a
tentacled penis monster.
Tentacled penis monster.
It's always the way.
I still would love to. You give this thing 600 pages, and you can gracefully put a source on that thing. You know what I mean? And so obviously left wanting more, but It would just be cool because it was this a whole Antichrist movie? Was this just a Damien thing? I don't know. One might be able to go that way because of the religious style, but
because of the religious and the political affiliations. Because of he's a spy. Is this this Antichrist has been created on this spy level so that this country can invade this country and start World War III.
So maybe that's why the Pink Sox wants to keep working with him, is because we've got this project going to make a clone of you.
Yeah. Right. Right. Is the Pink Sox, is that communism?
Or fashion.
Or fashion
another
forward,
Berlin hipster.
That guy.
Oh, so
he looked like the dude who played Herod in Jesus Christ Superstar. He was just like nicely froed and beautiful.
Yeah.
Very 1981.
Heinrich has a mom. There's a whole sort of thing going on there.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, what does she eat? What does she pop in her mouth before she goes and lies down?
Oh, I thought it was just...
And there's some really cool stuff about humans, too, multiple times they talk about Heinrich had a family, too. I loved his first wife like I loved Anna.
Yeah.
Because I love him. And all along there's those really nice things that are really accepting and open about these situations, which are so harsh for people.
Yeah, and we're treated to the counter of that, too. Oh, man. There were a lot of levels to it.
Totally. Yeah. Which means this is a mediocre podcast.
It's not, though.
Is it? Will it? Well, I never know.
What's weird is that we both liked this movie.
But when we both like them, I thought that's when they're not
That's
good.
Generally the rule of thumb. You know what it must have been? It must have been it's the Sam Neill factor, I think.
Say more about, what else is he in? I mean, he's
Sam
obviously
Neill.
very familiar, but why do I know him?
Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, before then? That was it? He did Possession.
He did Possession
in 81 and then Jurassic Park. I'm
Possession
why do I know
Jurassic
that guy?
Park.
I'm Sam Neill.
Is
he an American?
No, I think he's British.
No.
But he plays a spy a lot. He played a spy a lot in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
Yeah,
what else is going on? What are we doing? Again, it was cool to the Southern Reach trilogy thing, and the way that we don't need the answers, but it was very cool along the way with all those little edges and buttons getting pressed. And you listen to Annihilation anymore?
No, I haven't actually. I've been drawing a lot at night, and I've been listening to
Did you lose your ears in a Children of the Corn sequel?
I've been listening to a Spotify playlist called Cyberpunk, which is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That and the
name a band?
I have no idea. It's a lot of kind of. I don't want to say.
How's it go?
No, it's not.
I'm
like
a couple bars from a Cyberpunk.
No, it's like EDM and stuff like that. And,
oh yeah.
I'm not usually into that stuff, but for some reason when I'm drawing, and then I've been listening to a lot of Goblin, too. The
Goblin.
You don't know Goblin?
Gobbdlin.
Did the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack and.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Goblin.
God,
I can't say.
Say Goblin again.
No.
Come on.
I can't.
Goblin.
It's gotta. Yeah.
Goblin.
Nope. Goblin.
No.
Goblin.
There's a lot in the pipeline, though. We've got do you see the trailer for Alita: Battle Angel?
I have before. That's the James Cameron thing?
It's produced by James Cameron, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Is he one of those filmmakers who's not making movies for audiences?
It's all personal. Yeah.
Very personal.
Yeah, double fingers the entire time. Just like...
What's double finger?
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
This is for me, losers. I think he does that, actually. He comes on screen and he just says, fucking losers. Watching a movie.
Who's it? Who's his buddy, the bodybuilder? Touchy.
Oh, it was touchy subject.
Touchy subject.
From the Connecticut
Don't ask
subject.
Mr. Rodriguez
family.
about that. That's a touchy subject.
That's a touchy subject. What'd you say? Sorry, Touchy.
Yeah.
Not you. Go back to lifting.
This is our attempt to swoop back into the ignoramuses we are. If you know Mark Maron, please refer him to this podcast.
If you are Mark Maron.
If you are Mark Maron, look us up. We're wondering how to do this. We're also
Period.
in a garage.
We're-
Do this. Yeah.
Period. That's it. Do this. How do we do this, guys? We've done 63 episodes, not including all the like classic reposts.
Only one of our wives
and
likes
the stories. Only one of our wives likes it. My mom stopped listening like a year ago.
it. How profane, George.
How
profane.
Yeah, Kevin's son is never listening to it because of our use of language. But that's okay. He'll probably grow up and produce his own science fiction podcast. Do it for himself and not the audience.
Yeah, well, once you get the audience,
Like a real Rodriguez.
'cause, I mean, it's with a visual medium like that, it's hard to imagine, people sitting and watching it.
Yeah,
Which is probably why you shrink the screens, put cosmoses behind it or Ben-Day dots over the front, and reduce the volume on it and enlarge it. Yeah. He's behind it all. This Polish director,
he did the whole thing.
he's behind it all.
This guy is so meta.
Yes.
I don't think I saw anybody's face that entire movie because it was just cut off.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you said there's an alien. I kind of have to take your word for it because I didn't see anything.
that was kind of hard to see, when you're on a laptop and you're wondering if the screen's open enough to I was like, does he have eyes?
So
are
you
those,
try and
are those like crustacean plates at some point?
push it back a little more to try and get the
Yeah,
the
but
angle
I
right.
was
Yeah.
there. It happened so quick. Yeah.
Well, maybe next time we can actually spring for a legal version
Of a movie. Yeah, we should try.
Should we not be recording this? That we're on tape right now? Well, it doesn't matter. Disney's firing us in the
It's
morning.
done. We're done. We're going to have to
Anyway.
look for a different studio to work with after this.
I'm gonna give James Gunn a call.
You know what? This is the podcast that'll bring him close to his heart.
You and Mr.
We'll
Maron.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you're out there, look us up. We want to be profane yet poignant with you.
Poignantly Profane is going to be the new name of this podcast.
And that's a pee-pee joke.
PP. Oh.
Hey, you like that?
We did it again.
Yeah.
Well done.
So that means we have not come out of our potty humor.
I don't think we got much of a.
We need real consultation on this.
Yeah.
Are we just circling? Are we the turd in the punch bowl?
I've never actually seen that happen.
It's the expression.
It's a prespression?
Expression. Yeah.
Kevin needs to go take his prescription.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So enjoy your prescriptions, everybody.
Good night, nurse.
Good night, nurse. Oh, wait, I hit the button, not the other button.
Well, good night, nurse.
Good night, nurse.